Welcome to the Radio Shack of KF7KGK. You're looking here at my Alinco DM330MV. It's a power supply that I use to power my rig, and it has some interesting features. If you look over at the upper right side, you'll see a little knob there, and the outside one will help you adjust voltage if need be, and the inside smaller one is for noise. I've never had to use it. It's pretty steady, pretty cool. Then straight below that you see two switches at the bottom. The one on the left. Okay, at the bottom of the switch, the left one, there is an A. That will turn that into an amp meter. At the top of the switch you'll see the letter V, and it becomes a voltmeter. And that's what the what it is right now. Is it's showing the amount of volts that are in use. If you look over to the far left, upper left, you'll see a cigarette lighter attachment that you can open and plug in things that you use in your car, and your main power supply is in the back, and then it's got two more terminals here. You can put out a total of 32 amps. And then for our next item, I'll go to my Diamond SX600. On my Diamond SX600, it is a SWR meter and also a power meter. It can work two different ranges. It goes from 1.8 to 160 megahertz, and the second sensor will do 140 to 525 megahertz. Has variable ranges from 5 watts, 20 watts, up to 200 watts. And to be painfully honest, this is the best meter I've ever owned. It is like the Rolls-Royce of any meter I've ever used or owned. It is absolutely great. I highly recommend it. This is the reason for my power supply. This is a Yaesu FT7900R. It's a very pleasurable radio to use. It's user friendly, performs quite well. I even have one of these in my van. Get comments all the time on how good the audio is. And I have just thoroughly enjoyed this radio. Many others have picked up on it and purchased their own, and it's been quite a treat. It's got a lot of little features. If you notice the buttons that are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those are hyper memories. So you have 5 channels that you regularly visit and want to go to. You can hit those and go to those repeaters that you often or frequencies that you use, and this radio will hold up to over 1,000 frequencies in your repeater. It also has a smart search, so if you leave out of town, you can pick up on those repeaters in the area and even the PL tones. I'm just barely scratching the surface with this one. It's a great, reliable, rugged rig. This is my new pride and joy. It's a scanner, a Bearcat, made by Uniden. It's their Bear Tracker 3. It would be a really awesome scanner to have in your vehicle. It'll let you know if the highway patrol is within 1 to 3 miles of your vehicle. and then an alarm sounds. If you look over there on the full left, you'll see a red light there, and there's an audible alarm. That red light blinks if the officer was to key up his radio. The amount of frequencies that come with this are just phenomenal. You need to tell you program it to tell it what state you're in, and then an array of frequencies that come up. And just going through the service switch here, here's the Department of Transportation of Utah, local police. Here is weather. This is fire and EMS. This is news frequencies. This is CB radio. Woo, I didn't just say that. This is for aircraft, the railroad, the marine frequency for boats, water to shore, back to Department of Transportation again. It also comes programmed with the Highway Patrol. If you just want to listen to that, you push that state button there. And I could probably spend a good 40 minutes on it just explaining how this scanner works. It also has Trunk Tracker 3. If you don't know what trunk tracking is, you may want to look into that. It is absolutely a pleasure and a joy to own. W7BBQ led me to this unit, and I've been very pleased. I've only owned it for a few weeks, and it's been a great pleasure to own. There's just a more broader view of how I have my Radio Shack organized on my computer desk. I've owned this radio for a good number of years, probably about 1979 in there, 1980. It is a President made by, it's the model, the Dwight D. Has a lot of bells and whistles with it. I have enjoyed this radio for a good number of years. It is an 11 meter, or rather known as the CB. Other than Channel 19, where all the garbage is talked about, it's pretty quiet on the 11 meter anymore. And so the reason I have it is I'm the ERC for our ward, and I use it as backup in case the plans that we have for the FRS radio get too bogged down with people on the air. My bishop will be able to use the walkie-talkie, that tall one there you see there, a realistic. The TRC 208. It's a 3-water. Holds 3 crystals, 3 different channels. And the bishop would be able to use that. When that antenna is extended, it goes up over 36 inches or more. And then there's a pair of FRS radios. We use those quite often here in the home. My wife speaks real soft, and my ears are not working like they used to. So we use those here in the home so I can hear. And then this is my first radio, a Yaesu VX3. You would be amazed at all the things that little radio can do. Now, to give you an idea how small it is, I could take a credit card and place it over the radio, and other than the exception of the antenna, you take the credit card, it hides the radio. That's how small it is. And if you look at the manuals of the FT7900 versus the VX3, The VX3 has 50 more pages. The 7900 has 48 menus, and the VX3 has 92, if I remember right. And also the President here comes with an external speaker. That was stock with it. And now I think we'll go out and pay my car a visit and take a look at configuration out there. We're now inside my van. You can see the console there and the steering wheel, and it was installed by W7BBQ, and KF7HST came over another time and helped finish things up when I exchanged the antenna for an upgraded one that worked and was mounted more on a permanent basis. It's the same FT7900R made by Yaesu. This antenna here is made by Comet. It's a 5/8 wave. It has two loads in it, the upper load and center load. And inside the base there's a load. I have to fold it so it won't hit the garage door when I drive in. And so we easily fold it, and then I'll show it to you in the extended. In less than a half a second, there she goes. It's way up there. Hopefully over the noise of the air conditioner you can hear my voice. And this is my 5/8 wave antenna, a dual bander for the 2 meter and 70 centimeter. At the base of the antenna you can see how we grounded it. We drilled a hole in the cement for that copper bar, and it's down on the ground well over 9 feet. And it's attached to the pole. We removed some paint and then used a couple clamps to hold it in place, and I believe it'll work well. Again, W7BBQ helped drill the hole. Since I'm disabled, not able to do that kind of work, and he was gracious enough to come over and help me with that. Out in the front of my home, we have a mast partly hidden with this bush, and this antenna is for my Uniden scanner, and it helps bring in reception that I have never heard before out of Salt Lake City. Could never do that with the old standard antennas that come with the scanner, so I would definitely recommend having those placed into service for any scanners that you plan on having in your home. Again, BBQ installed everything there in the bracket that holds it there, and put in the pole, and helped me bring the poles from the store, and helped me with those graciously again.